In the landscape of history, few narratives are as captivating and significant as the tale of the Kingdom of Wessex and its role in the birth of England. It's a story that takes us back over 1,000 years into the mists of early medieval times, where a patchwork of competing Anglo-Saxon kingdoms dominated what is today known as England. Wessex, known to its contemporaries as the West Saxons Kingdom, wasn't the largest nor the oldest, but it would become the most significant of these kingdoms, setting the stage for the birth of a nation that would go on to influence the world in countless ways. At the dawn of the 5th century, as the Roman Empire started to crumble and withdrew its protection from Britain, the island was left to defend itself against invaders. Into this power vacuum stepped the Germanic tribes of the Jutes, Angles, and Saxons. They brought with them their language, culture, and a new social order, dividing the land into various kingdoms, including Northumbria, Mercia, East Anglia, and Wessex. Wessex, at the southwestern peninsula of the island, was founded by the Saxons around the middle of the 6th century. Its founders, Cerdic and his son Cynric, are figures shrouded in a fog of myth and legend, lending a mysterious air to the genesis of this important kingdom. But despite its seemingly humble beginnings, Wessex would rise in prominence and power over the following centuries, playing a central role in the defense and eventual unification of England. In the early years, Wessex often found itself overshadowed by its more powerful neighbors, Northumbria and Mercia. However, as the Viking invasions of the 9th century began to threaten these kingdoms, Wessex stood firm. It was King Aethelwulf and later his son King Alfred the Great who saw the need to resist and fight against the marauding Vikings rather than surrender and be conquered. Alfred, perhaps the most iconic of all of Wessex's rulers, ascended to the throne in the year 871. He is known not just for his military victories against the Vikings, but also for his leadership skills and passion for learning. Faced with seemingly insurmountable odds, Alfred took up arms against the Vikings and, in 878, won a decisive victory at the Battle of Edington. This was a turning point, marking the decline of Viking power and heralding a period of relative peace and stability. In the aftermath of Edington, Alfred set about transforming Wessex into a bastion of learning, culture, and administration. He believed that a well-educated populace was the foundation of a strong kingdom. He ordered the translation of important Latin works into Old English, thus making knowledge more accessible to his subjects. This also laid the foundations of the English language, shaping it into a dialect that started to resemble what we would recognize today. The fortification of towns and cities, known as burhs, was another one of Alfred's strategies. The burh system wasn't just a network of forts, but an intricate plan that laid the groundwork for an organized system of defense and local administration. This network ensured that no part of Wessex was more than 20 miles from a fortified settlement, crucial in a time when enemy attacks could occur with little to no warning. However, the true legacy of Alfred and Wessex is the concept of a united England. This dream was carried forward by Alfred's successors, including his son Edward the Elder and grandson Aethelstan, who pushed the boundaries of Wessex further, slowly assimilating the other kingdoms of Mercia and East Anglia. By the time Aethelstan came to power, the unification process was nearly complete, with him often considered as the first king of the English. Aethelstan's rule represented a new chapter in the history of the British Isles. Here was a king, the grandson of a humble West Saxon ruler, who commanded the loyalty of a united realm that stretched from the Scottish borders to the English Channel, a realm that we now recognize as England. But it was more than just political and military power that defined this newly united kingdom. The spirit of learning and innovation that Alfred had nurtured continued to thrive. The cultural exchange between the different regions, the shared defense against Viking invaders, and the adoption of Christianity had a unifying effect on the population. An identity was being forged, a common language and culture that would eventually evolve into what we today identify as English. The Kingdom of Wessex was more than just a geographical region or a political entity. It was the crucible in which the nation of England was forged. From its beginnings as a humble Saxon kingdom to its role in repelling the Viking invaders, from the reign of the visionary King Alfred the Great to the unification under Aethelstan, the story of Wessex is the story of the birth of England, a narrative of a nation's journey into existence.